guys, it's King Toyin. You can find all my social media outlets. It will be in the description box below. The Flash, Season 8, Episode 3, Armageddon Part 3. I really enjoyed this episode, man. From start to finish, I've watched this episode at least 3 or 4 times today. Like, even from yesterday when I came home from work, I was watching that shit as soon as I got home. Because I was like, I didn't know how hype I would be. But then when I watched like maybe 20 minutes in, I was like, yeah, I'm not even going to pause this. I'm watching the entire thing. So, from Black Lightning coming in and helping him, just reminding him, like, look, this is your future. You have to control it and try to take over. You know what I mean? Don't let this man come in here and try to say, oh, you're going to destroy the world. Like, you're your own man. You know what I mean? And Barry's just sitting there like, nah, like, it seems like he's already accepted the fact that he's going to take over the world. And it's like, nah, you can't think that. And on top of that, he lost Joe. You know what I'm saying? He lost the man that raised him. So it's like, it's messed up. You know what I'm saying? It's messed up. And it's crazy because when season 7 was going on, I was like, someone had to die. Someone had to die drastically. We don't know who it is, but someone had to die. And I was like, what if Joe died? That's what was my thinking. Like, what if Joe died? And I was like, they wouldn't do that. And fast forward to now, Joe dead. So I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? And so it feels like he's given up already at this point. You know what I mean? So now, you know, Black Lightning has to find a way to take away his powers. And he's telling Barry, like, look, if I take away your powers, it's going to be for good. It's going to be permanent. So just make sure you know what you're doing. Like, make sure you're making this final decision. Because once you make this decision, you can't go back on it. You know what I mean? So, and I like how Barry's fixing his watch. Like, I would like to see more of that. I would like to see, you know, Barry fixing things. Because I feel like you can't always rely on Chester. You got to be smart. And I feel like comic book wise, Barry he builds a lot of stuff. If you read the comics, he knows how to build his stuff. So I feel like they should show that more in season 8. And then the whole part where they fight and Barry catches him. Now, before that fight, they were still fighting, but before that scene where Barry throws a lightning at Black Lightning, I'm like, bro, why would you throw that at Black Lightning? Like, why would you do that? Like, you know he's gonna manipulate it and catch it and throw it right back at you. And I like how he said it. He's like, nah, it's not. I don't want this lightning. This is something like that. He's like, I don't want it. That's on you. That's your lightning. That's yours. Like, that's like basically throwing ice at Killer Frost. Like she's not gonna catch that. You know what I'm saying? Or throwing water at her, she's gonna freeze it. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel about it. But I really enjoyed this episode. And then with the whole Iris, you know, finding a way, I get Cecile's upset. I get it. She's upset, and people don't understand what Cecile's powers. When she's grieving, she's feeling other people's grief too. So she's feeling Barry's grief, she's feeling Iris' grief, she's feeling everybody's grief. So all that grief, that kind of like, that takes a toll on you. You know what I'm saying? All that grief takes a toll on you. So she's got to a point where, like, you know what, it's got to accept the fact that Joe is dead, he's gone, and she wants to move on. So I get the fact that she wants to move on. That's not easy. You know what I mean? Like, grief, everybody grieve in a different ways, and it's not easy to grieve, you know. But I understand what Iris is going through, because Iris is like, look, you know, this is her husband. She wants to find more evidence. She wants to find out what's going on and prove that her husband is innocent and see what really happened to her dad. She wants to prove that, and Cecile's like, no, and it's just like it just goes crazy. But I get both perspectives from different females. you know. But I don't know. I can't really pick a side because I agree with both of them. You know what I'm saying? Um, hmm. And it was just crazy how Allegra's gonna go with Iris because she works for Iris, so she has to go with her and find out what's going on, right? And they find out that Joe disappeared in the screen because I guess he got ran over a train, I guess, and when they look back on the cameras, he disappears for a minute, and then they watch it again, he gets run over. But people have to understand when they look at that video, Joe was not supposed to die. He was not supposed to die, which means somebody was messing with the timeline. And the only person that I can think of that's messing with the fucking timeline is Ea Barthorn. The only person I can think of is Ea Barthorn. He's the only person that I can think of that messing with the time. And Dion, he's the I guess the guy that deals with the stealth force, and he's telling Iris like, look, if I do that, you're gonna be jumping in and out of time. You're gonna be jumping inside, going back and forth out of timelines, in and out. And she's like, I don't care. I just want to find out what happened to my dad and prove that my husband is innocent. That's what she's saying. She wants to prove that her husband is innocent. And she's like, she don't care. She want to do it anyway. Come to find out that someone tapped into the negative stealth force. Or steel force, yeah. I'm like, negative steel force. So I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, maybe, what if the forces have counterparts, right? Negative counterparts. So say like if, Barry, it has a negative speed force, right? You can get your, what if Damien Dark? What if, I'm just saying, what if Damien Dark, because I seen him in the promo trailer for episode 4. What if Damien Dark is the counterpart of the Stealth Force? What if? I'm just saying, what if? I was like, it had to be Dawn. I knew it was Dawn. And then that's when Barry and Jefferson fight, and they break the glass that they had Oliver's suit in, and that kind of made him like think like, damn, like I really broke the glass, and he broke that, and that kind of made him realize like, I gotta chill out. And Jefferson's telling him like, look, Oliver wouldn't sacrifice his life if he knew you couldn't do it. Like, that's what people have to understand. Like, Oliver went through some fucked up stuff. He became a hero, and he did a lot of things to get to where he is now. You feel what I'm saying? And he sacrificed himself because he knew what kind of man Barry was. Because for those who don't understand, Barry and Kara were supposed to die in the comics. Well, they didn't die in the comics. They were supposed to die in the crossover. Oliver sacrificed himself so they can both live. You know what I'm saying? Because he knew that they were the best out of everybody, especially Barry. Barry was the best out of everybody. He wouldn't have done that if he wasn't. So he did that sacrifice, and he's telling me, look, Oliver wasn't a quitter. Anybody that watched the show and knows Oliver Queen was never a quitter. He kept going. And so Jefferson's telling him like, he was never a quitter, so don't quit on yourself. And then that's why I feel it with Barry. Barry, you feel like he gave up. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't give up. You're the Flash. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, you gotta look at it like, he just find out his dad died. So that kind of, I feel like if Joe had not died, he probably would never gave up as much. He probably would have kept going. But the fact that a man that he grew up with, the man that raised him, died. So I think that kind of affected him. You know what I'm saying? So that kept him going. So now, Despero came out of nowhere, attacks Barry, and thankfully Black Lightning was there, to shock his eye, to distract him. Barry didn't have enough speed force because, he gave up his speed. So, you've seen it. If you've seen the episode, you know what I'm talking about. He gave up his speed, but the Stealth Force gave him enough speed force to, to run to the future, right? He goes to the future, right? He goes to the future. He realizes he sees a bunch of people. He sees Allegra. He sees Alex. He sees Chester. He sees Maya, Batwoman. I can't pronounce her name. That's why I said Batwoman. Who else? Ryan Choi, Iris. He sees everybody. But the main guy he seen was Dawn. So we thinking to ourselves, like, what is going on, right? So then we see the ring. I'm like, no, this motherfucker did. No, he did not just do that. No, he did not just do that. And I'm like, oh shit, this man married Iris West. He married Barry's wife. And then when Iris and Dawn seen Barry, they like, what is he doing? Like and then Batwoman's like, what is he doing here? And everybody looking at Barry like he's the villain, like he's the bad person. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So in my case, in my theory, and I'm pretty sure everybody has the same theory as me, Dawn changed history. He rewrote history, right? So he rewrote history to the point where Barry's the villain, Eobard Thawne is the hero. He's married to Iris. He killed Joe. And all these people is not friends. That's pretty much what changed. Because remember, Joe was not supposed to die. Everything that was there, it lined up perfectly. And then on top of that, Barry lost his job, lost Star Labs, all on the same day. Come on, man. That for that to happen perfectly done, I knew from the moment Dion said that the negative Stealth Force was involved, I was like, yeah, it's Dawn. Even when you say negative, it's Dawn. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, damn, this man went too far. Now, in my theory, if this man has kids with Iris, let me tell you right now, this Barry is killing him. Barry is killing Dawn with no hesitation. Marrying her is one thing, which is still wrong. I'm not justifying the fact that it's still wrong. But if this man has kids with this lady, with the woman that he loves, I promise you, this man is going to vibrate through his chest in the future. I promise you that. I was just that ending right there was like, oh shit. I was like, yo, this man went too fucking far. Imagine somebody killing your mother, right? Killing your mother when you was 11 years old, right? Manipulating your daughter, changing through time, right? I know there's other things that he did too. Then takes your wife and make it seem like you the villain and he's the hero. Imagine that. Just imagine that. You've been tight. You would have hated that person for life. You killed my mom. You killed the stepdad that raised me. Then you took my wife. Like, at that point, it's on sight. Like, at that point, I would have been mad. Like, ain't no way. Ain't no way. I'm surprised Barry didn't snap. I'm surprised Barry didn't snap at this point. But we gotta see next episode 4. Check out my review for episode 4 because I will be doing a review for episode 4. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next video.